Hey everyone, this is the Egg Hunt show plan for 2024. Guys, I am so excited for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk through what we're going to do with the show. This is going to be a really important video that you're going to want to check out because what we're going to do, and I'm just going to say this up front, this isn't just going through the show. We're going to talk through a lot of really specific details, including what stuff do we cut from the show first, because in the event that things need to go, we want to make sure we have a good plan for that. So, and even just a recap on just why we're doing this, we're going to have literally over 1,000 people inside Kid Zone, potentially over 2,000 people, just over the entire weekend that we're doing this, that we're going to be able to share the gospel with people who have never been to church before, and this might be a pivotal moment in their life. So that's why we want to put our best foot forward, because we're representing Jesus with this. So let's talk through some of this, and you'll see on here that I have a stage presenter column. There's V1 and V2, which is essentially talking about version 1, version 2, and some of this might kind of get adapted a little bit as far as who's doing what on stage. Quick note for our show team, the specific people that you want to go to first if you have any questions are going to be Hannah and Kara. Those are going to be the people that are remaining in the gym throughout that entire weekend. We have some other people that are going to be taking care of characters and stuff in other locations. Hannah and Kara will be exclusively in the gym, running things, making sure things are going well. So we'll have pre-show games. This is going to function very similar to what we've done in the past. So we'll have version 1 is Hannah and EJ doing that. The second one is Kara and John doing that, which is going to be a really, really important, awesome piece. As far as the start time of that, it might be about 30 minutes ahead of time, might be a little bit later. The important part, and we typically know this if you've done one of these events for a while, but we've never really put it, is our show buffer, which essentially is 5 minutes, which means our 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, none of these are starting at that exact time. Usually it's like, if we're running really good, it'll be 12:02. And when I say running really good, it's dependent upon how many guests do we have that are outside that are still getting checked in or things like that. So that will be the only thing that delays things. The 12, 2, and 4 are not as stressful as far as some of those times of making sure, because during these 3, there's no adult experiences happening downstairs. It's these 3 right here. These are the fun ones. So we're going to make sure that we are taking into account the fact that we are probably going to be starting 5 minutes after the show time. So for 6 o'clock, 9:30, 11:15, it'll be like 6:05, 9:35, 11:20. So just keep that in your mind. We'll start off with an interim video after that. Then we will have the presenters introduction, which will be me and Sarah. We'll come out. We'll talk about things. We'll be like, we're so happy you're here at the factory, all this stuff. Then we will move on to game number 1, which for this one will be Sarah and I. This will be a large group game. What we're explaining is that our excavator machine is messed up and it's sending eggs all over the factory, and we have no idea what's going on. And so we want to make sure everybody can identify what is an egg with the game called Egg Hunt. So we'll have a fun, like this will be like zoomed in images, and people will give it thumbs up, thumbs down, whether or not they think it is the image or not. We'll go off stage. There's going to be a rules video, which Wally the bunny will help illustrate some of the important rules here at Kid Zone. It'll be a really fun one. After that, the ending of that will go into like a dance party type deal. Kind of what we've done. It'll be about like a 30-second thing. Like everybody can stand up at your seats. Do not have them come down front. We're going to go into This Is Living. After that, and the 2 versions of that would be either Hannah or EJ, or Heidi and Derek, or Heidi and EJ, and Hannah and Derek. But we won't do EJ and Derek and Hannah and Heidi, because we want to at least have one boy and one girl out there. Our next one, and this is the only spot that we have literally a blank at. This game is called Edna's Mode. So the beloved character in The Incredibles, Edna Mode, who designs all the costumes and stuff. We are literally taking that exact character, and Edna has now changed careers. She's no longer designing superhero costumes. She's designing eggs, which is great. So she's designing eggs. What we're going to have for game 2 and 3 is Kara's going to be out on stage, not as the kind of goofy character, but as the one that's able to keep things running along well. So that'll free up. We'll have one of our students that will jump in as this character. It might not be the same student for Saturday and Sunday, but essentially what this game is going to be is the motors on stage that we have typically bring down the trash cans. We'll have them bringing down a giant, we'll only have one of them that comes down that brings a giant ring. Kids will be on stage. They'll throw eggs through the ring. The only supplies we're going to need for that are some baskets of big eggs, and that's it. And so after that, we'll make sure those all get cleaned up. We'll give them some prizes. We'll let you know what those prizes are once we've determined them. And at the end of that, everybody comes off stage. Either Pastor Sarah or myself will come out. We will talk about two big things coming up, or two events coming up. So there's a Kids Kaboom promo that we'll talk about Kids Kaboom, how amazing it is, all that stuff. And then we will also have one for just Kids Zone in general, getting into some of those details, which will be a lot of fun. After that, Sarah will come off. We'll have a game intro video for Egghead Eddie's Egg Blastin' Rodeo, which is going to be Kara and John. John is Egghead Eddie. What we're creating is we're taking the slingshots that you normally use to fire out t-shirts at like a sporting event. We're putting that into a cylinder that was previously a metal trash can. And what we're trying to do is make just a really obnoxious big slingshot gun that the kids will be able to fire. So what we'll have here, and you'll see some of the things, there's a slingshot gun. We'll have some baskets of eggs or some plush things, whether they're stuffed animals or other things that they're using to fire. We'll have the coat rack that will be at the very front of the stage, and we will have we'll have 2 boys and 2 girls that are 4th and 5th grade age for this one. We're going to be really specific on that. So they'll be working together. They'll have a minute to fire as many of the targets off of the coat rack as they can. So this one can function really, really well. We got a few things to build with this, but it's going to be great. After that, we'll have the prizes. There'll be like a big clean up all the stuff there. And then we have like our only little like skip moment here. This will be Wally the bunny will actually show up, and then either myself or Sarah will talk with Wally, and we'll be like, wait, what happened? There's been an issue. All that stuff. There's a machine that gets broken. The second motor that's on stage, it's either going to be during the lesson or during the skip moment. We'll iron this out a little bit more, but the second motor that's on stage will be connected to a cover. It will we'll hit up on that thing, and then it will show that the machine's broken. We'll be like, oh no, this is terrible. After that, we'll get to the secret word intro video, which will be in the style of the intro of National Treasure, if you've seen it, where he's like talking about all the stuff with the treasure getting moved and whatnot. So we'll have it'll get into that with the secret word. Myself or Sarah will do the lesson. I'm not planning, if I'm out there, I'll connect with who I'm going to need help with doing what, but at this time, I don't have anything specific as far as what we'll be doing or assistance needed with the lesson. After that, we'll do our normal thing. We'll pray, invite kids to follow Jesus. It's going to be great. And then we'll do some guesses. After that, like the prize moment, that will be, again, like the moment of like, oh my gosh, we just found like the National Treasure. We will be playing National Treasure music. We're going to take gold foil, put it over some random objects so that it looks like you found the golden something or other, bobblehead, I don't know. We'll figure it out. After that, at the very end of that, then Wilma, that's the bunny that broke the whole excavator machine, will show up, and then we'll walk downstairs. All the kids at that point will be able to follow after that. Either myself or Sarah would have some dismissal instructions for everybody. If you've done some of these events before, you know this is not anything super crazy. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. The 2 aspects that most likely we will be able to anticipate them changing are going to be game 2 and game 3. A lot of these aspects, they kind of closely link to one another, that if we skip it, it's like, we kind of can't move forward with it. Game 2 and 3, so the first modifications of them would be, hey, we're gonna cut some of the time on that. We're gonna make it really quick, things like that. But most likely our first one that we would cut would be game 2. If we're already in the middle of game 2 and we realize we're a little bit late, we'll cut game 3. Neither one of those are intricate to the story, but they are easy ones for us to extract and cut without it destroying the whole storyline of what we're trying to tell. So that is the plan. There are obviously a few other details. The one other thing I want to make you aware of, there are going to be 2 practices leading up to this. You should have gotten some info on that, but if you didn't, I'm sorry about that. Life's just a little crazy. So March 10th and March 17th are the 2 Sundays leading up. We will do 2 practices from 1 to 3 p.m. We'll provide lunch for everybody, but it will only be 2 practices. These are ones where we're going to have as much of this stuff ironed out as possible. So we will be showing up with graphics, supplies, all this stuff, so that we are able to have a very thorough run through. So I know there are obviously some questions on what we're doing with this. I'm going to ask that we're doing our best. We're going to try to be flexible with this and adaptable towards what's going to happen with this. But quite frankly, this is such a strong team that we have with this. So I'm excited to see how we do with this. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, or anything else. But let's make sure that we are ready for this, prepared to see some people enter into the kingdom of heaven, because that's what's happening. I will see you guys soon.